think that the body can get a lot bigger than what it's come into now. I think actually now it's at a steady point the last few years. You know, the guys aren't necessarily getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I think if anything, the guys have been a little more downsized from what they were, but you know, we don't have, the problem with bodybuilding is, and it can't progress without, we have supplement sponsors and gyms and that kind of stuff as our lead sponsors and shows. If you look around in the lobby, it's mostly supported by supplements and nothing really mainstream. You don't see any Coca-Cola or car sponsorship, you know, car companies, GM or anything like that as sponsorship, and that kind of hinders it because there's only going to be so much value. And what's happening is supplement companies are going in and out of business. That's just, you know, there's companies that have been around 3 years ago that aren't here anymore, and new ones have come in, and the sponsorship money stays the same. I mean, to sponsor a show, it's $500 or $1,000 or $15 or $2,000, depending on how big you want your sponsorship. Because I know I'm a promoter, I promote 4 competitions. And you know, you have to reach out and you have to bring more mainstream recognition. And I think with this new bikini division, men's physique, it's drawing a little more attention. There's obviously the shows are growing because of that. I think a lot of people are steering away from bodybuilding because they see guys at the level that I'm at, and they say that's unattainable. I know if I was a teenager looking at my physique at my peak, I would say, wow, what is it going to take to look like that, you know? I mean, look, I didn't win the Olympic till I was 33 years old. I thought I was going to win the thing at 20-something. So it's discouraging, and I think, you know, things have to be more attainable, but I also think the appeal, there has to be just more recognition of what we do, and that's all really I'm trying to do. I mean, I think, you know, me, I'm more exposed than a lot of people are in this business, and you know, Schwarzenegger was only brought bodybuilding forward. Remember, he was an actor. He never brought bodybuilding forward. He brought acting out of his career, and then of course he was recognized because he was a Mr. Olympia and he had a physique, but no one even knew what that really was. And then of course he started producing the Arnold Classic and further like that, you know, had fitness shows which involve many different sports now. But it really takes like people like Schwarzenegger and you know, champions like myself that will continue to bring things forward and try to create more public response. And we need more money. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, it's a costly business. It costs a lot of money to put on these shows. It's not just selling tickets and, you know, it's a lot of, you know, all the trophies expense and, you know, paying staff, paying for the auditoriums. And, you know, I'm having my show in Vegas next week at the Palms Resort, which is a major hotel. It cost me $20,000 for the venue. So right there you have to have, you know, sponsors that pay that. Luckily I have some local sponsorship. And you know, you hope the contestants show up. You know, Dave had a record number of competitors here. What was the number here this week? 260 something. So the shows are growing, but we just have to be, you know, I think get the sport a little under control, and you know, hopefully that will, you know, bring more people to it. You know what, as a bodybuilder, yes, I do. You know, I do actually, because a lot of my friends are competing in that. I see a lot of young kids getting in. You know, the bodybuilding side it's kind of slow for, you know, teenagers coming in, but they see this men's physique, you know, they can put on the shorts, they can get up there. You know, it's hard for a kid to put on, you know, little underwear and get up on stage, you know. I know I was scared of that. He was. Well, I mean, I bought neon posing trunks when I was, you know, I think 18, and I'm like, I gotta wear these things up on stage, you know? And it's kind of weird, you know? I thought that was just like, they got smaller and smaller, you know, the posing trunks over the years. I mean, back in Arnold's day, they had, you know, real underwear, but I mean, nowadays it's like, you know, you don't have much up there, so. It's the way it goes. I guess that's the next generation, you know. But you know, we're all fans, so I think we'll all continue to support it. And like I said, I appreciate you guys coming out and listening to me. Any more questions, I'll probably close it up and let you guys go on with the rest of the day. Like I said, I'll be in the lobby tonight. I think Phil texted me this morning. He was on his way, and you know, just to say a little bit about him. You know, he's a very good friend of mine. You know, I met Phil years ago and convinced him to get into bodybuilding and told him he'd get all the tools to be the best someday, and he looked at me and said, "You really?" And lo and behold, he's now Mr. Olympia and beat me for it. So, you know, it's he's a super nice guy. We're on basically the same level as, you know, we really appreciate the fans and thankful for being able to be in this position, and we're here to teach everyone, you know, what it's like to be on top of the world. And you know, he's enjoying his first year being Mr. Olympia. He texted me and told me how hard it was last night because he flew. I think he was just in St. Lucia. He flew back to Denver, and then he's flying here today. So, you know, he might be a little tired, but make sure you guys come take a picture. We'll be at our tables next to each other, and congratulations to all you guys. I see a lot of you guys are competing here today, and we wish you the best. You know, thank everyone for all their support of these people. If it wasn't for you guys, you know, we couldn't do what we do, and I'm sure they couldn't either. And you know, make sure you give them some good food after tonight if this is the end of their contest prep.
Jake, a little small question.
Yes, sir.
Who is your absolute favorite bodybuilder of all time?
Jay Cutler. I should ask you, who's your favorite? Schwarzenegger?
You know, I like Mike Menzer.
Okay.
And Ed Corney. Dave Draper.
See, so there's a lot of old school. Yeah, of course the female says Jay Cutler. Right? Yes, ma'am. Let's hear your question. Stand up so everyone can see who's asking the question.
I'm going to embarrass him, but my grandson is here with me, and my brother-in-law is competing today. My late husband used to compete back in the 80s, okay?
Okay.
I would like to ask you, do you talk to the younger guys that are coming in, how detrimental the steroids are, and are they aware that it can bring out Lou Gehrig's disease?
Well, that's something I'm not familiar with as far as what, you know, different side effects or whatever. The kids coming in, obviously this competition is a tested competition. They often question a lot on the internet why they bring in such pros as myself or Phil or whatever and to guest pose, but there's a lot more education about steroids on the internet and whatnot. See, I didn't have that when I was up and coming, and it was kind of really a hidden thing when I started bodybuilding. We didn't have a lot of knowledge on that. I think nowadays, because of a lot of the activity in the professional sports, there's a lot more information that, you know, kids can look at and see, you know, the risk to benefit of using, you know, steroids. The accessibility of steroids is probably more than it's ever been because obviously there's doctors that are allowing, you know, they're used, you know, steroids can be beneficial to people that need them. But, you know, for kids using steroids, it's something that should be avoided at all costs. I mean, that's terrible. And, you know, these competitions that Dave puts on here, obviously that's, you know, it's a great competition for those people that want to, you know, compete on the national level. You know, the drug testing is very secure. So a lot of kids come up in question and say, you know, I'm thinking about taking steroids. And I said, well, how much have you read about that? And, you know, their question's always, you know, answer's always the same. Oh, you know, my friend's taking this or whatever. But there's a lot of over-the-counter supplements that mimic a lot of what steroids do. You know, all you have to do is take out a compound or two, and there you go. You got something in a bottle that's legal. You see stuff getting pulled all the time. So the problem is even if, you know, kids don't use steroids, the accessibility of something of that nature, which is going to jack up your testosterone levels. I mean, there's a lot of natural ways to do it, but there's a lot of supplements out there that also do that. You just have to be careful what you take. I mean, if you as a parent are very aware and concerned, then anything they're taking, you know, make sure you take it to your doctor and say, is this safe for my son to use? I mean, you have to watch over those people as much as you can. But remember, everyone's going to make their own decisions, and you know, that's the world we live in. So, okay. Is that it? Okay, so I'll see you guys tonight. I wish you all the best of luck, and you know, keep doing it. and I'll be back on the stage next year, guest posing here, I'm sure. And you guys that won't get to see me, I'm not going to guest pose. I think I'm going to announce Phil and get him fired up a little bit to do what I normally do here. I go into the crowd and take all the pictures, do all that stuff, stick my tongue out in ladies' faces, try to scare people. I miss that, Hopefully I won't end up ripping my clothes off and posing down in my underwear up here, Posing on one side anyway, I can't really flex this arm, but I'll be back, and I want to thank you guys for giving me the motivation always, and keep following at musculardevelopment.com and my Facebook, jcutler.com. And I want to thank Dave again from staff for putting on a great contest, and see you guys later, okay? Thank you.